Welcome everyone to the Robin Report Annual Forum. Today is the second in our series of conversations about what's been accelerated over the last 8 months because of the pandemic and economic disruption. I'm Deborah Patton, the editor of the Robin Report, and I'm pleased to introduce you to our two participants today. Robin Lewis, who is the CEO of the Robin Report. He comes to us from the Keys in Florida. And Dave Kimbell, who is president of Ulta, who comes to us from Chicago. So they're going to have a deep conversation about the many things that has made Ulta one of our 2020 retail radicals. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. I'll be back at the end, and please submit your questions through the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. I'll be back later to field your questions. And Robin, have a great time.
Thank you, Deborah. And welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have a great session. Actually, very fortunate, and I'm very honored to be able to have a conversation with the president of Ulta Beauty. So David Kimbell, thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to an energetic conversation. Now, before we get started, I wrote an article a couple of weeks ago, which, in addition to announcing you guys as Robin Report Retail Radical of 2020, I also included a lot of facts that I got out of your interview with Goldman Sachs at their annual retail conference in September. And I wanted to review those facts for our audience so they understand a little bit more about you guys and also about your brand's real significance. So first of all, Ulta Beauty is the largest U.S. beauty retailer. And the operative word, of course, is largest. With revenues of around $7.4 billion, offering 25,000 products across cosmetics, fragrance, skin and hair care, and uniquely, and I say uniquely, they are at all price points, which is a major competitive advantage for Ulta Beauty. Their businesses run through some 1,264 stores, I think I read, and of course e-commerce. And I would add that Ulta Beauty the brand is on fire with the young Gen Z and younger consumer cohorts. And of course, as a result of that, their growth has been enormous, from about 2.5 billion 7 years ago to the 7.4 billion today. And also, they essentially doubled the number of stores. And now, with this great breaking news yesterday, in addition to their 1,264 stores, they are adding another 100 locations within the Target stores, which, David, in my opinion, it was a brilliant move on both of your parts. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about how that came about and, explain how the model works, okay, so that we get that correct. And then also, if you're planning on rolling it out to Target's other 874 stores around the country. So give us a little color.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Robin, for having me today. I'm really excited, and thank you for the recognition. It means a lot to us, and it's a great honor, and we really appreciate your interest in Ulta. And thanks everybody for joining today. We're really proud of the track record that we've had over many years. We're about a 30-year-old company right now, and we've been on a long journey. And Robin, as you said, we had big news yesterday that I think is the next big step in us continuing to drive our leadership in beauty and connecting with more consumers across the country. So we're thrilled. We're really excited about this big step. It's a really meaningful move for us, and in so many ways, it starts with our guests. Like everything that we do, we think through the lens of our guests and our associates, and every action that we take. And in this case, it started with really understanding that we have an opportunity in a disrupted world to continue to find new ways to delight our guests, give them great ways to engage with us. And this partnership that we have now, we just announced yesterday with Target, we believe is another pillar of our efforts to continue to reach our guests and service them, and we think really exciting, compelling, modern, meaningful ways. So the way this is going to work is, as we announced yesterday, we're going to next year in 2021, start this relationship. We'll be launching with more than 100 stores across the country, and think of it as everything that you love about Ulta Beauty, the experience, a core set of brands, a curated set of brands within it, but the experience, the human elements of it through highly trained staff in those stores to deliver a prestige brand experience within the Target environment. We'll also deliver that online within Target.com to have a Ulta branded store within a store within that. And the reason we're so excited about this is we see this as just a great way to expand beauty, expand the connection to beauty, and certainly deliver that through an Ulta Beauty experience. What we found through all of our research is, all of our guests just appreciate when we give them new ways to experience Ulta Beauty. And we've done a number of those over the years. As you said, we have over 1,200 stores. So that core store experience that we have will continue to be the foundation of Ulta Beauty, as it always has been and will be well into the future. And we're very optimistic about that core Ulta Beauty store. But we have salons as well in every store. We've certainly have been growing and building a very strong and large e-commerce business. We have an app that provides great engagement, a strong loyalty program, and now we'll be bringing this Ulta Beauty at Target. And what we find when we offer new ways for our guests to engage with us is, frankly, their love for Ulta, their connection, their loyalty with Ulta, their willingness to concentrate even more of their beauty engagement at Ulta Beauty increases. We've seen it again and again across all these platforms, and we're confident that it will happen with this new format that we're bringing to life. Target is just a phenomenal partner. We've long been impressed with their leadership, the way they've continued to evolve. You also, I think, recognize them as a radical this year because of their forward thinking.
Yeah.
We share values together in being a values-based company, to care about guest experience, to care about associates, and to care about each other. And the partnership that we've had kind of behind the scenes as we've been building this, and now we'll move into public view, is rooted in a shared set of values and a shared desire to continue to lead through the consumer disruption that's happening in the marketplace. So we can be happier, and we're really excited about this next big step for Ulta Beauty, and looking forward to delivering this for our guests.
So you think you'll roll this concept out across their other stores, or you're just going to wait to see how these do and then kind of build a cadence towards that?
Yeah. So what we've said is, yes, we'll start with this 100 or so stores next year. We do have plans to roll that out in a coordinated, sequenced way to hundreds more, and that's our plan. And we'll certainly Target, like us, is always looking to make sure we're understanding consumer reaction, adjusting and evolving, and so over long term, we see a huge opportunity for us to continue to partner with them, and we see it reaching into several hundred of their stores over time.
Well, I'll tell you, it's really exciting, David. It really is. I've been talking about platform sharing and writing about it for some time. So, and frankly, I'm really happy to be able to talk to you so soon after the thing was announced. And it really, it really makes sense that Ulta Beauty is bringing your expertise to the table with Target, because you guys have had many initiatives that for authentic consumer engagement, which you are really succeeding at, in my opinion. That's why you're a retail radical.
Right.
So there was another thing you said at the Goldman Sachs interview, which really struck me. And you said, as the beauty retail leader, we have the unique opportunity to inspire positive change in our industry. Our focus is to educate, guide, and simplify a product choice and elevate those brands that are doing good for our world. So, to this end, you guys recently launched your Conscious Beauty at Ulta. So give us a little color on that. What is that about? What is your strategy there?
Well, this is another aspect of our evolved customer experience that we're really excited and proud of. We launched this just a few weeks ago, and the idea behind Conscious Beauty at Ulta Beauty is exactly what you said, a way to lean in with our guests and provide more transparency, more opportunity for them ultimately to to align themselves with brands and experiences that reflect their personal values. We know the world is changing, and we know increasingly consumers across all categories are well aware that the choices that they make are in everything that they do, and certainly it's true within beauty and the beauty products and the brands and the experiences that they choose to engage with. They want that to be reflective of what's important to them, and both in their personal health, the health of the world around us, the ability to give back to communities, brands that are doing interesting things and giving back to communities. So for us, this platform is rooted in the idea of transparency, to help our guests navigate the world of brands that we offer, products and experiences across the entire Ulta Beauty experience, to help them navigate that, so they are better informed and they can make choices. So what Conscious Beauty at Ulta Beauty brought to life is a simple but comprehensive program that again allows for full transparency and connection. And there's 5 key pillars to Ulta Beauty, the Conscious Beauty at Ulta Beauty. Ingredients, clean ingredients is the first. We know increasingly guests are thinking through, and this has been going on for a while. This isn't a new trend. It's been happening across all categories. I worked earlier in my career in the food category. It's certainly true there, and increasingly true within beauty, that there's a wide recognition that the products, the ingredients that they're using, putting on their body, consuming in a variety of ways, will make an impact on themselves, on their families, their kids, and then the world around them. So understanding what's in products is really important. We included in this a made without list that is really important, that highlights what we believe are ingredients that are most important for our guests to understand if products are formulated with. And so we highlight brands that have complied with that list. So again, we can give our guests the ability to make that choice. So clean ingredients is really important. That's been a long-term trend. It's been a long-term focus for us for a while. This platform takes that to the next level and allows our guests to really more seamlessly identify those. Vegan is another pillar. Increasingly, consumers are again aware of the impact of their choices on the world around them, and looking in this case for products that aren't tested or used with animals or animal byproducts, and that's really important. In fact, it's in all the research we do, growing to be one of the most important factors is that consumers are made. Similarly, cruelty-free is a third platform. So this idea of testing on animals is an area that the entire industry is focused on and increasingly addressing. But consumers are really looking, more and more consumers are looking for brands that are committed to and have made a promise not to test on animals. The fourth platform is around packaging, and this is one that we're really, really excited about and very committed to, and one that I'd argue the beauty industry and perhaps other industries outside of beauty have the most work to do. While we love the fact that our guests are highly engaged in beauty and are using a variety of products, there's a lot of packaging that comes along with that, and many companies, from big global multinational companies are to smaller independent companies, are recognizing that and making changes into packaging to reduce the amount of packaging and to drive more recyclability and focus. So we made, as part of that, a commitment that by 2025, 50% of our assortment will be made from either biosourced or recyclable products, and that's we're on that journey. We've got a good start on that, but there's work to be done. And we feel that by leading this effort, we can have a positive impact. And the fifth category is just about social impact. So many brands are committed to their communities, have causes that they feel elevate above the commerce, the economic component of their brand, to giving back to their guests, to their communities through a wide variety of causes. And we felt it was really important to recognize that, and again, to give transparency to our guests so they can better find those stories out and align themselves across the product portfolio to brand. So those are the 5 pillars. We've identified hundreds of brands that meet one, or in many cases, multiple of these pillars. We've brought that to life in-store, online, through our app, and we'll continue to evolve the touch points that our guests have to be able to navigate and find products. And I think ultimately, we see this as a really critical long-term trend. We're really proud of this step in our journey. Again, it's a journey we've been on for a while. We think this is a big move for us, and we think we know this is here today. And many brands, through the work that we're doing, this platform we've built, already qualify for some of these and are now working hard to meet the qualifications across all these pillars, because they know, as we do, it's really important to our customers.
You're big enough that you can influence what your brand vendors are doing, I'm sure. And you really answered my next two questions, which is that you believe this is not just a moment in time where there's a little trend here with these young people, but their values are such that you do believe that this stuff is going to stick with them going forward. But the other question is, you're obviously not doing this just to do what's right. Mm-hmm. The question is there monetary advantage at the end of the day? Yeah. In this route?
Yeah. Well, so yes, for sure. We do see this as being around for a long time. I mean, we think this is the new normal, that what guests are expecting, and so this isn't a trend. This is something that's been building for years, if not decades. This growing awareness of the impact on the world around us and our personal health and our communities, and that's not going away, for sure. And so we're excited about that. And you mentioned young people, and what's cool about this is, for sure, Gen Z consumers. That's really important. I have two teenage kids myself, one in college, one a senior in high school, and And so I see through their eyes, how they view the world, and the recognition that the choices we're making now will impact, the rest of their lives. And so it's really cool to see in that younger consumer a deep passion for aligning their personal values to the products that they choose to consume. But I'd also add that through all of our research, it's certainly the importance of this is by no means isolated to that group. We're seeing it across all consumers, all ages, all geographies, every type of consumer, young and old, is increasingly aware of this and different aspects of it. So that's what we think is really cool about it, and that's what we believe will continue to drive the momentum, and to allow us to elevate, to encourage our brand partners to continue to evolve their products and packaging to ultimately meet the needs of consumers. And that gets to your other point. This while for sure this is aligned to our values as a company, and we've long had the value of deep caring for the communities in which we all live, we work, we feel like we have a responsibility as a large company and a leader in beauty to do our part as a values-based company to help drive change, and as you said, with our scale, we think we have that opportunity. But what is really, I think, exciting is what and great about this particular area is the values-oriented element of this is by no means at odds with our desire to continue to grow our business, because we know that's important too. We know it's really critical that we're growing our business, that we continue to have a very healthy, vibrant company, because that does allow us to then do more to give back. So because consumers are so passionate about it, we're not, we're committed to the values aspect of this, and we're getting rewarded because consumers, are making choices with their wallets, and that's showing up in the growth of our business as well.
Yeah, well, that's I think the kids and the grandkids also have influenced their moms and dads and grandparents. Mm-hmm. So I think you're right. It's across the board. All right, back to the—
Hey, Robin, one just quick point on that is there's another big kind of pivot point that we see, and that's you mentioned kids, and Greg, it's new parents. Also it's also, and I've seen this in other categories that I've worked, that's also kind of a big recognition point for many. And many people are thinking about it, but then when you have kids, you're even increasingly just aware of the choices you're making and creating a healthy, safe household and the long-term impact. So there's multiple dimensions of it for sure.
Okay. So back to the business of the business and the industry. Obviously, the business you're in and the industry, there's an emotional component, which is helping your guests feel and look better, pandemic or not. Right. And of course, consumers have been calling the shots for years. And so I'd like to take our conversation to explore how they are redefining retail experiences in general and yours. So how do you think the Ulta Beauty guest experience, how has it changed most significantly over the past 7 years? And how do you think it will evolve into the future?
Well, great question, because it in some ways, one of the things we're really, I just think, just as exciting about our company is we're 30 years old, and many of the ideas that our founders had 30 years ago when they created this company. I've had the opportunity to spend time with one of our founders. They're not involved with our company anymore, but understanding the insights that they had when they built this company, those insights are still what drive our company today. And some of the foundational elements of the original business plan that was written about Ulta Beauty over 30 years ago continue to guide us. So this core idea of understanding your consumer and understanding that in beauty, guests want to have an approachable experience. They want to be welcome. Beauty is so important. You mentioned the human component of this, and that's the aspect of beauty that I love the most is the deep connection that our guests and that beauty enthusiasts that really people across the country and around the world have around beauty. It's so important to how you express yourself to the world, and the personal choices that you make help you with confidence, help you how you want to show up in the world. And for us, everybody is beautiful. Everybody approaches beauty in a different way. And we've seen our role from day one to be the destination that allows our guests to discover beauty on their own terms, to not be judged, to not be told what beauty is, to have an experience that allows them to experience products across the entire spectrum of beauty, across all price points and all categories. And that's been a guiding light for us from the very, very beginning. We also had, built into our original plan, the very first store we opened, the idea of services, hair services, brows, makeup, skin. So that's important too, because we know it's important for our guests, but it also gives a great reason for our guests to come in and experience beauty and feel beauty kind of happening around them. And it's a big part of our platform. So there's some fundamental elements of our business that have held true, but certainly over the last 7 years and then this year, it's even accelerated in some ways. We've continued to evolve. And I think the biggest change that we've made, Robin, over the last 7 years is a purposeful pivot and acceleration in this idea of emotional connection to our guests. We've done a lot of things really well, but we recognize that we needed to, because of the emotion within beauty, the personal connection that our guests have, we needed to not just be a transactional destination. We needed not just be a place they go in, okay, I can get these products, but deliver an experience that is human and that feels like it's connected to the importance that our guests place into it. So that comes to life through first and foremost our associates. I'm so proud of the way our associates across the country show up every day with one purpose in mind, which is to deliver a great experience and delight our guests and allow our guests to discover beauty on their own terms. So
you're hitting on a point which I just want to cut in here for 1 second. Yep. I understand that you mentioned your associates. Mm-hmm. How much of your success do you think has been contributed to actually the overwhelming number of female associates you have? I think I read 92% somewhere. And so you're able to personalize your brand with every customer that comes into your stores.
Yeah, well, yeah, as I said, associates are the core. If there's one thing that's driven our success, it's the power of our team. And yeah, we are really proud. Diversity and inclusion has been front and center for us for a long time, core value of this organization. And we're really proud. Yes, 92% of our team across the country are women, and that's at all levels of the organization, including our CEO, more than half of our board. So definitely really an important part of our business. And we work hard to ensure that we are an exceptional place to work for everyone, but certainly for an experience for the women associates and delivering a great place to work for them. But I will say, so that's really critical. But I will say all of our associates, regardless of how they identify or any other aspect of who they are, we work really hard to make sure that every associate feels valued, and again, diversity inclusion is front and center for us. And through this year, in particular, 2020, that's it's further reinforced for us that we need to keep striving to do even better, to be a destination as an employer that fully recognizes all aspects of diversity and is a great place to work, and giving opportunities for growth and potential to unleash all of that with all of our associates. And then that translates in through the power of our team to doing the same for our guests, to be a destination of true diversity, that every guest, regardless of who they are, ethnicity, cultural background, gender, any other dynamic, everybody feels welcome as they walk into Ulta or they come into our website or any other experience. So you talked about the power of the women across our team. I'd extend that to every employee and every guest. We're increasingly committed to making sure that we're truly reflective of the world that we live in. And while we're not perfect, we are striving to make sure that we get better every day to deliver a place that's truly inclusive, because we know that's so important to our employees and a real important part of the beauty category.
Yeah. So personalization is something I've been writing about for some time. And obviously technology and analytics and AI and so forth give the ability to retailers to really understand each and every one of their customers, or at least those that keep coming back. You build data on that. And so you're able, I think, better able in store to engage them, correct? To your associates, are they able to say, "Hi, Jane, good to see you again," and give me a little idea of that engagement within the store and the ability to do that?
Yeah, well, personalization is a big focus for us. We're fortunate that we have a lot of loyal guests. We have 33 million members of our loyalty program. It's one of the largest loyalty programs in retail and certainly in beauty. And we use that program to further personalize all aspects of our communication and our connection, and also as a feedback to loop for us, so we can better understand what's important. So we've activated that across a wide range of initiatives to ensure that when we're communicating, we're doing it in a way that's really relevant and reflects that we understand what's important to our guests. Your example of coming into our guest, I'd say we're continuing to work on ways to automate that. But we've been doing that for a long time. Before there was technology and other things, one of the things that I think is so important is, again, the power of our associates. We have a high tenure of our associates, and they love beauty and they love serving our guests. So well before we had any technology aids and AI, which we're building, that's just been part of our experience. Again, we want everybody to feel welcome, and part of that is just recognizing. And so many of our associates know the frequent customers, our best guests, and that personalized level of experience, that welcoming, the fact that they feel like they can come in and again, not be judged, not be intimidated by beauty, but to just feel like they can come in and discover beauty on their own terms and unleash their possibilities. The human connection, the emotional connection comes to life through our associates, and then increasingly complementing that with technology that makes us even better at delivering that across all touch points.
So there's another, you guys do a great job in that space. There's another question that I have that has to do with distribution. I've often called this the distribution century, and I mean that both literally and figuratively. And this idea of you need to get as close to the consumer as you can. And we can see that becoming a part of Target's small store strategy, where they're able to go into neighborhoods. Walmart's even starting that same thing. So I was going to ask you about your guys' location strategy, and is it guided by analytics with a combination of where your core consumers reside? So how is your location strategy? And are most of your stores freestanding as opposed to in malls?
Yes. So first, absolutely, we're we pride ourselves as a company in making smart, analytically based decisions through the lens of our guest and understanding, and that's certainly true within our real estate strategy. As you mentioned earlier, we have over 1,200 locations across all 50 states in all different types of markets, from small towns to 86th and 3rd in Manhattan, and Los Angeles. I mean, all different types of markets, and that's done very thoughtfully, very analytically based. I think it's one of the great muscles that we've built is really analyzing and understanding every shopping node across the country, and understanding beauty trends, understanding our guests, and where we can better serve. But you mentioned, I mean, a big focus for us is making sure that we're available to our guests. That's another thing that's been true to us from the very beginning. Our first stores were built outside of malls, and a very small percentage of our stores are actually in malls. So almost all, over 90% of our stores are outside of malls. And the reason that we've been doing that for really the history of the company is convenience, to make it easy for our guests to just to drive up, to go in on to make it really easy and convenient. So that idea of convenience, the idea of analytics to choose more locations, will do that. And our stores are, we have over 1,200. We're excited to continue. We see a runway to continue to open stores. We've talked frequently about this idea of getting up to 1,500 to 1,700 stores, and we think there's plenty of opportunity to continue to service our guests. We're also doing it through, of course, our e-commerce and finding new platforms. And then, as you mentioned, this Target partnership is another example of us trying new formats, new ways to extend our presence, because we know that's really important to make it really easy for our guests to experience what they love about Ulta.
Yeah. So another area that I'm very interested to understand, industry-wide, in fact, across a lot of different industries, private branding, private label, and so-called incubators, they're getting all the buzz, and they're getting bigger, and there's more and more of them. So how is the Ulta Beauty brand collection performing, and what's the strategy with that brand?
I'm so glad you asked about that, because Ulta Beauty Collection is my favorite brand. It's so important to our strategy, because it is a further extension of the Ulta Beauty experience. When one of our guests takes an Ulta Beauty Collection product home, it's bringing our brand home with them, and they're reminded of Ulta Beauty every time they use that product, and it's really important. And it's a big brand for us. It's one that we continue to invest in and to bring innovation. It spans multiple categories: makeup and skincare and bath and accessories, and we're continuing to innovate. We have an awesome team that's fully dedicated to driving innovation, to identifying trends, to bringing new products in exciting and accessible ways through all the categories and the touch points. And our guests love it, and it's really performing well. And again, I think they see it, particularly our guests, that our best guests see it as a further affirmation that Ulta Beauty is their choice. So we're going to continue to innovate. We're really pleased with the performance. I should say that, as I say how important it is, we also recognize the importance of the entire brand portfolio, and that's what our guests really love. So while Ulta Beauty Collection is so critical to our experience, we're also so committed to continuing to be the best destination for all of our brand partners. And this idea of incubation is one that you brought up. You're right. There's so much innovation. Brand incubators are continuing to grow, and we really see us as a great destination. We've had so much success bringing in small emerging brands and giving them a platform to reach new guests and grow, and that'll continue to be a focus for us as well.
So do you get any pushback from some of your major vendor brands of your private brand? In other words, are they feeling that there may be a little bit too much competition within the Ulta Beauty, platform?
Well, I think as it relates to our Ulta Beauty collection, I think our brand partners recognize, as I said, it's really important. It is a big brand, but we have over 500 brands, and so by no means is Ulta Beauty collection the dominant part of our assortment. It is a complementary part of our assortment, and but one that we're really committed to for all the reasons I described. But our brands, so I think they recognize that and understand our commitment to that. But I think they also see through our actions that we are equally as committed to being just the very best partner in beauty, that and to giving them a platform to reach our millions, and with over 30 million guests, the 1,200 stores, our growing e-commerce business, now the Target. I mean, we have so many ways to enable our brands to reach new guests and to bring their brand to life. Our merchant team is their job every day is to be great partners to our brands, not just drive sales. Yes, yeah, they've got goals and things. First and foremost, they start with building great relationships and being a partner, because we know how important all of our brands are in delivering our success. And so we've had that as a core commitment for a long time. Certainly something that I'm personally committed to. I spend a lot of time with our brand partners, and I think and I hope that they recognize the commitment we've made to all of them, and the shared opportunity that we have together to just continue to grow the beauty category and be more successful together in driving each of our businesses.
So, so you're a retail radical of the Robin Report, which honored that you are. So what are some of the pivots or some of the major innovations you've made? You've talked a lot about what are the many things you're doing that would qualify you. So what are some of the radical things that you can comment on?
Well, again, thank you for recognizing it. It was a real great honor, and I know that the entire Ulta Beauty team was honored and delighted when you made that decision and brought us into this, because it's something that we really see within our day-to-day actions. Is we feel like we have been a thought leader in beauty for our entire history, and disrupting beauty and bringing change and evolving beauty in a way that delivers great opportunity for our customers, for our employees, and for our brand partners. And certainly this year, as we all know, in every aspect of our business and personal lives has been wildly disrupted. And so I'm really proud of how our team has come together and evolved and pivoted quickly to drive more change, to drive more disruption into the marketplace. Some of the things that I think we've been really focused on is in the digital space. 2 years ago, we bought two companies very purposefully to drive more change, to drive faster evolution in the experiences that we're delivering to our guests. One is Glam Street, which is a company actually based out of Uruguay, with a wonderful founder who's now part of our Ulta Beauty team, and she has built our virtual reality, virtual try-on capabilities. So that's been a big focus for us, and we've seen huge adoption and engagement in that tool, before the pandemic, and then certainly in the pandemic. This year alone, we've seen a 9x increase in engagement in that. Like 20 million shades tried on across all different aspects of makeup. And so that's a big aspect of our business, and we're going to continue to drive more disruption in the digital space. We also bought a company, QM Scientific, which is an AI advanced, started by two brothers who also now part of the Ulta Beauty team and family, who bring just really advanced thinking and how we can leverage data and insights to further expand and evolve our guest experience. drive personalization, to understand consumer behavior and predict where our guests are going and drive our experience forward. And it's just been a great part of our experience, and we've evolved our personalization efforts behind that. We also, have tried to make the experience easier and have really pivoted in many ways and tried to, again, make sure through the lens of our guests that we're meeting their needs. Last year, second half of last year, we launched, not terribly disruptive. Many other retailers have buy online, pick up in store, but we were really glad that we had that going into this pandemic. Obviously didn't see it coming, but then we quickly pivoted that into a curbside capability that again was very much appreciated for our guests. And these kind of disruptions will allow us to continue to evolve our guest experience over time. And then, the last thing that I guess I'd really just highlight, Robin, is one of the areas that I think we've really tried to push hard on and to make sure that we are leading in is how we communicate, beauty and this emotional connection that we've talked about in our time together today. And for us, so much of it is, just ultimately boils down to joy. Beauty should be fun. Beauty in this time of disruption, this time of just so much change in the world around us, we really see one of our key roles as being just a place, a home, a destination where our guests can find moments of joy and happiness and something that's so important to them. And while that might not sound super radical, it's really important for us because we know how important it is to us. And at this time in particular, being joyful, being optimistic, helping to shine a light on all that's good, even as we address the challenges that are around us, is just an important part of our path forward.
Yeah, community, convenience, fun. So real quickly, just COVID and like curbside pickup was one of the innovations. Mm-hmm. Is that and some other things that you have done during the pandemic, are they going to stick going forward once the pandemic leaves, which now God knows when that's going to happen, but what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Consumer behavior, obviously evolves over time, and certainly in beauty. Beauty is a fast-paced space. Really, changes at the pace of culture and evolves quickly as the world around us changes. So many of the pivots that we've made, the changing consumer behaviors will stick for a long time. And we'll probably settle in some places, but the idea of making it really easy for our guests to engage in Ulta as we've evolved the experiences, that for sure we say. The idea of just safety and experience, even as we get out of this, that'll be top of mind for quite a while. Certainly all things digital. We've seen this huge increase in engagement in our digital tools. That's going to stick for a long time and just be at a greater level and even a greater complement to our total human experience across all dimensions. So many things have changed, and things will evolve and maybe settle down in some ways, but for sure consumers are not going back to where they were in 2019, and it's up to us to continue to evolve to keep up with that.
So do you see any more lockdowns coming with, everybody's saying this is going to get much worse?
Yeah.
How do you plan for that?
Well, I obviously, don't have a crystal ball, and I think we all are watching it really closely to understand. And certainly, we're concerned about this rapid increase across so many parts of the country, and so we're preparing for all potential outcomes, and we have multiple contingencies. One thing that we've really a skill that I think we had before, but wow, have we had to, like everybody, everybody has had to strengthen their ability to be, flexible and agile. And so we've really worked hard on that. I think our team has come together across all aspects, out in our store teams, our field teams, our supply chain, our distribution centers, our corporate teams. We've elevated our ability to be agile. And so I think we're ready for, we've had a lot thrown at us, as everybody has this year. I'm really proud of how we've navigated through it. So I'm really confident, kind of whatever comes over these next several months, that we can handle it. But certainly I'm hopeful that we can get this under control as a country and move forward into a post-pandemic world at some point in the not too distant future, knowing that we've got a probably pretty good road ahead of us before we're fully there.
So you guys really deserve to be the Rom Report Retail Radical. Yeah, Deborah's back. Deborah's back with us. Does that mean we're running out of time, Deborah? What?
We have about 10 minutes left, but we have a really interesting question from a startup. She's in Oakland, California, and a beauty startup, I think, obviously. She's searching for funding, but her question is, and it's interesting, how do you measure financially being a values-driven, purpose-driven business? What kind of metrics do you use in order to measure this, and kind of talk a little bit more about that, because she's looking for guidance on how to build that into her model.
Well, so first of all, so awesome to hear from entrepreneurs. As I said earlier, one of the best things about this industry is there's so much creativity and so many cool founders that I've had the pleasure of meeting and working with. And so I just love what this founder is the commitment to building brands. It's one of my favorite things about the beauty industry and what Ulta is doing. As we think about metrics, I mean, certainly we've got core financial. We're a publicly traded, large Fortune 500 company, and so for sure we measure. Part of our success is measured through our financial performance, but we also have a wide range of metrics and commitments that we've made for our people, and how we think through the lens of diversity and inclusion and and employee satisfaction. We do an employee engagement survey every year to really make sure that we're deeply understanding how we're performing for our associates, what we're doing well, but more importantly, what they'd like to see us do better. And we listen to that. Every leader in the company goes deep into understanding, across the company and then within their individual teams, how we can do better, how we can continually improve. So I would encourage anybody, big or small, to find ways to stay really close to your team and to have metrics and commitments that you're making to improve employee satisfaction and employee engagement, because every bit of success that we've had is tied to the strength and power of our team. And so I'd start with that, and then beyond that, the impact on the world through as we look through the lens of the impact that we can have on the environment, on social change. We've got metrics. I mean, I talked about one commitment we made through the packaging, and this goal that we have over the next 4+ years to make a significant improvement. There's a very measurable aspect of that. So we build in metrics and we track towards them. But I'd also say, the last thing I'd say is it's just important for any culture, company culture, to be led through the lens of values. And I'd say that starts with, our CEO, Mary, and our board. And it's certainly something I try to reflect, and all of our leaders, because, some of it's hard to measure. And there's an intangible component of being a values-led company, and how you show up every day and how you lead every day. So every leader has an impact on that. And so while we can measure a bunch of things, and we try to do that, we also just ensure that the way we lead as leaders of this company is through the lens of values, and we know that will help us evolve and address the opportunities that we have.
So there's a follow-up to that is, how do you have any influence over your brand partners in terms of your values and how important they are in terms of your ethos and your business practices? How much influence can you have on your partners to consider running their businesses that way?
Well, yeah, I think the influence that we have is through our partnership and the example that we set. We're not suggesting that, we've got it perfectly figured out and it's our way, and, everybody else that's doing anything is doing it wrong. For sure. There are so many great companies, big and small, across the spectrum of our brand partners, and we have so much respect for what they're doing. And so rather than us trying to, I don't know, beat up our brands on any individual aspect, that's not how we approach it. We approach it through the lens of partnership, identifying ways that we can each get better, and also just leading through our example. I think this Conscious Beauty at Ulta Beauty program is reflective of that. We didn't build this to penalize brands that aren't, maybe don't meet any one of the pillars. And that's not our intent. A lot of brands are doing amazing things, even if they're not specifically qualifying for some of these platforms. But by leading with example, by demonstrating for us what's important, by always having values front and center, we've seen our brand partners respond to that. They want to be in this with us together. They see that the collective impact of our influence in the world around us can drive more change. So we look at it through the lens of partnership and leading by example rather than penalizing or in any way like that.
Okay, great. So we have a question from the leading department store in Ecuador.
Cool.
And I don't know if it's a he or a she, but our audience member wants to know, with so much fear that we're experiencing right now, which makes everybody anxious, how do you enable customers to experience product in a safe way, or even invite them to, considering the conditions that we're living under?
Well, first of all, I love Ecuador. Quito is an amazing city, and what a great country and culture. And I wish I could get down there soon as travel comes up. So thank you for the question. So much of this comes to trust. And one of the coolest things that I've seen in this pandemic is, we always measure our brand through multiple dimensions about how they perceive Ulta Beauty, both our guests and others in the world. And one of the biggest changes we've had, the biggest movements we've had, positive movements we've had in brand metrics is trust. Do I trust Ulta? And we've seen a significant increase in that. And that's because we've been so committed to making sure that it's safe when you come into our stores. We have made no compromises to that, just to, drive sales or we're really committed to that. And we've been really committed to our associates. It's been so disrupted this year for associates, particularly out in the stores, to make sure they feel safe and they're taken care of. As our stores were closed and then as we reopened, again, not perfect. We're working hard to get better every day. But I think what's coming to life is the companies that people trust, that have worked hard over time to lead through values and show up to the world through the lens of their associates and their guests every day, are the places that people are going to kind of lean into and feel comfortable in this uncertain world. And so we're really proud of that. That was so enlightening to us, and something we're so grateful of, that our guests trust us even more as we're going through this disruption. So just find ways to just engender that trust through your actions. And then I think people will feel more comfortable engaging with you.
Great. So there's one last question, kind of a quick one. And it relates to what you guys were talking about earlier about the pandemic and closures and who knows what's going to happen. But so this person wants to know, was there a certain level of pragmatism about going into Target if, God forbid, the stores do all close down again? Because it makes you essential, so that we can all have access to these amazing things that ordinarily we wouldn't be able to.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, in some ways, I guess, although let's all hope that, what we're experiencing in 2020 is a once in a lifetime event, and we're not having to close our stores again. But yeah, for sure, the idea of giving more options, I think it ultimately comes down to giving more options. Our website was able to operate every day, all year long, distribution centers. So that was a great way to engage, even as our stores closed. And now this, opportunity. If we ever go through an experience like this again, we'll again give different. So it's about reaching our guests, giving options, having flexibility. And so certainly, if we have to experience this again, we'll still be able to service our guests in multiple ways, and this would be one.
Got it. So our correspondent from Ecuador has asked one other question. She wants to, I think it's she, wants to know, but how do you try on the product during this time?
Yes.
So I think I might have missed the point, but anyway, that's what you want.
Right. Yeah. Well, that is a big change. So right now we're not really doing product try-ons in our stores, very limited to some very specific products and categories. Generally speaking, no try-on, which has been a big part of the experience. So we're adapting for that through a couple of things. One, our Glam Lab app on our app, Ulta Beauty App, has been a big focus for us, and so that's where I've said we've seen this huge increase. So you can go in and try thousands of shades and colors. We have we've expanded to skin diagnostics, hair color. You can change the color of your hair. I don't have a ton of it to change, but it's fun to play around with. And so that's been a tool that people are using at home, but also in store. Guests are, engaging the app as they're standing in front of a brand and trying on different lipsticks or eyeshadows and other products. But also I go back to our associates. Our associates have stepped up in helping guests navigate when they can't actually try on a lipstick, a physical lipstick. It makes our associates even more important too, because they're so trained and educated and passionate about it. They can help them navigate and talk to them about what would look great with their hair color or their whatever outfit whatever they're trying to match. And so associates, virtual tools have stepped up in this time, and we'll see that we can get back to either individual samples, more try on in store over time, but we've navigated it that way during this time.
So Priscilla from Deprati, I think it's pronounced, department store in Ecuador, thanks you.
Good.
It is Priscilla. And I want to thank you both. It's been an amazing conversation, truly radical actions, get radical results for sure. I also want to thank Intel, which is another one of our collaborative partners that helped sponsor our forum. And I welcome everybody next week. We're going to talk about sustainability. It's a real flashpoint in the industry and then kind of in our culture at large. So thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.
And David, I would like to thank you again and our audience. And it was terrific. You're great. Your company's great. Your brand is great.
Thank you.
Take care.
Robin, thank you, Deborah. We're really honored by this, and it's so much fun to spend this time together talking about these great topics. So thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We're all believers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.